Hello and welcome to another of our after hours conversations here at the Power of 50. Today's focus has been all around spare parts, and as I always do, I've brought some of the key insights and the key thinkers that have been shaping the conversations and just pulling some of those insights out. And as always, I'm going to ask my guest to introduce yourself. That's your first job, and then I want to understand you've had some great conversations today, Thibaut, so I want to pull some of that out. But first of all, tell our audience at home who you are, what you do.
Yeah, so thank you for introducing. My name is Thibaut van den Berghe. I'm representing Katoen Natie. We are a top-notch logistic service provider with global presence. Yeah, in more than 30-40 countries with over 160 locations, and headquartered in Belgium, in Antwerp, at the port of Antwerp. So ideal location for inbound logistics.
I think probably most people watching this will certainly know the logo and the brand. Probably half of us can't ever say Katoen Natie. We never get it quite right. I think I had a good effort there. That wasn't too far off.
But some years ago, I tried to explain it. That it's actually cotton nation in English. So cotton back in the days, handling cotton. That's where Katoen Natie is coming from.
There we go.
But KTN, you can say KTN.
KTN, we can all do it. And I know that we'll see anyone that lives near a port. You know, I live near London. I grew up in another different port in Cardiff. We know the brand. You're absolutely huge global logistics provider. So you've been shaping a lot of good conversation today. You've been hosting a series of different roundtables with your colleagues. Like I said, Power of 50, the whole purpose is to bring great people together with great ideas, and then we turn to companies like yourself that we know are shaping some of the problems and providing some of those solutions that the guys are facing here. Talk to us a little bit about what where you wanted to have that conversation, what the topic was, where you see the big challenges.
Well, first of all, I think Copperberg is a great venue, where for us, there are potential opportunities to be identified. As you said, there are a lot of industry leaders present during this event. So important for us to create exposure, to create visibility. And what we try to discuss today, during the roundtable sessions, is how and why advanced logistics can contribute or enable spare parts profitability.
And it's interesting. We saw in some of the presentations, we saw a number of different themes coming through around this as well. And one of the things we saw, for example, was a conversation around sustainability. We know that ESG is going to be a core driver for organizations being able to move to that. Yesterday at the e-commerce event, we were talking a lot about the digital product passports. And that's another area where it's okay, we can show what we're doing to A, bring down our fuel costs, B, make sure we've got the right parts in the right place, which is when we come to the technician side of things. Were you surprised to see so many common themes? I've just touched on a few of them here, but do you think that these are fairly ever-present conversations that you're having where the challenges are the same across all the different verticals?
Well, that's of course what you encounter when talking to people from different industries. The good thing is that we are facing the same challenges. So, spare parts profitability in the end is unavoidably connected to elements such as sustainability. What we try to do with our partners is to find ways on how we can, for example, give a second life to spare parts. So we try to set up what we call factory services or refurbishment shops, giving parts or, let's say, small appliances a second life into the market, making them able to be sold again into the market.
And there's also then the other side of that is optimizing that supply chain, which we're all, and this is one of the things that I find fascinating. We're desperate, when we look at some of these big external drivers, we saw it with the pandemic, supply chains coming, we saw that it was the companies that had strong partnerships with logistic partners in place, etc., that were able to adapt them much easier. But of course, that's also always just going to, you optimize your supply chain, you're going to reduce cost. You optimize your supply chain, you're going to have different impacts on all across the business, and it's something that it's just best practice for me. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, that's correct. But that's of course what we try to do as a logistics service provider. Is really focusing on providing cost-effective and cost-efficient solutions through continuous improvement. It's our job as a professional logistic service provider to co-create with our partners throughout our long-term partnerships to co-create the best possible solutions. And that comes together with optimizing supply chain, because we play an important role in the supply chain of our partners, and we can support them with initiatives based on the experience we get by handling their components.
Yeah, and it's that whole process as well, isn't it? Right to that final mile where that engineer may need his part, all the way through. What would you say the consistent challenge was that you were hearing today? And also, I'll put this as a twofold question.
Okay.
What was the most consistent challenge you heard today, and how does that map against the work that you're doing with your clients or people that come knocking on your door and say, this is the solution we need, how do you help us? Yeah. What's the biggest headache, I suppose?
Well, based on the conversations we have had and the topics we discussed, I think the main common issue I have identified is the inventory management.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and it's already decades. Yeah, it's a discussion, but you can discuss a whole day on how to manage the inventory. Yeah, which items, which SKUs do we place where, and with what quantities. And that's a big challenge OEMs are facing because of the warranties, the servitization. It's not only selling the product, selling the part, but they sell
the package.
Yeah, the package, the service. Yeah, and then after 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 years, somebody knocks on the door and they say, "Where is my spare part? I need it because you have told me in the past that I would be able to have it available 10 years after I purchased the equipment." So that's a big challenge, and there, as a logistics service provider, handling the inventory, we try to support our partners, by creating visibility through the systems and applications we have in our ecosystem. We try to create visibility, enabling our partners to make the right decisions in terms of inventory management.
And the word you had there as well, visibility, as somebody that has a more extensive background in the field service, I know from my guys and the work that I've done many times with other organisations, engineers have a tendency to have van stock, and they have a tendency to have garage stock, which is the van stock, and that's a huge black hole often in the service P&L, and so that visibility is absolutely critical. Yeah,
and that's where our systems come into play, and that's also what we discussed during the roundtables. That we have different levels of maturity in the logistic operations, and the more advanced your spare parts logistics gets, the more access you get to different features. Which one of them is visibility, but also technology. Comes together with the systems, with the WMS. Which items are moving a lot, which are, let's say, obsolete, which are slower moving. So putting the right item on the right place is essential for us to let's say to offer the services that we promise to our customers.
One final question for you. You've been really gracious with your time. I know we're at the end of a long day, a lot of conversations. I don't know about you. My voice is getting dry. I don't know about
but it's
been a great conversation and loads of great discussions today. I'm always interested to understand the maturity of the market in general, and I always enjoy speaking to someone like yourself that is seeing, at the one end of the spectrum, some of your clients will be you'll have walked that journey with them where they've got a real good maturity across their supply chain. How does that sit against where the industry is as a whole? Do you think that we are just starting to scratch the surface a little when it comes to what we can do in terms of improving those things like that inventory visibility, improving that final mile, improving all of that, or is there a lot more work to go?
Well, luckily, I think there is still a lot of work to do. Otherwise, we would be not necessary, let's say. So I'm happy to understand that there is still a lot of work to do, and we see that within the industry, within the OEMs, there is a big variety in maturity levels of supply chains, and also interconnection between the different departments, and that's for us what we have also observed today. That's one of the takeaways, that we see that there could be some more effort, let's say, placed into creating interconnectivity between the different departments. For example, after sales and supply chain. To make sure that they are interconnected and that they are saying the same message to the customer.
Removing these silos across the business.
But still a lot of challenges, but that's why we are here, and hopefully it continues in that way.
Perfect. Listen, thanks so much for the conversation. Thanks so much for the great conversations across the day. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.